evening. I'm Zoe Croney. I'm the song leader here as a part of the Willie Sordillo Ensemble. And this is Willie Sordillo, and Joe Reed on piano, and Doug Rich on bass. And we'll guide you through the music in the evening along with our pastors, Howard and Rick. So we have an Advent incantation to sing together. It sounds intimidating, but it is not. The band will play the melody, we'll hear it, and then the words will be projected behind me and we'll sing together. So please stand as you are able.
Good evening to all of you in this chapel and to everyone joining us online in the warm safety of your own place. Welcome to Old South Church here in Boston. We believe in open doors and open tables, which basically means this: Christian or not, gender conforming or not, melanated or not, you shop at Whole Foods or Trader Joe's, all of you are welcome here in this place. And in the spirit of welcome, would you please pick up that little black pad at the end of your rows and please fill out a page, especially if you are new here. This is actually how we stay connected with you. So if you fill something out, we will respond to what you write. Tonight, we continue in our Advent journey. We're going to be diving into what does it mean to wait expectantly during these times. So whatever or whoever you are waiting for, know that we are waiting together in expectation. Amen? Amen. Welcome home. Friends, would you join me in a quick word of prayer? God, as the temperature is shifting down, as we seek warm food, warm clothing, and just warmth in general, God, I ask that tonight would be the night that we would become warm, that we would feel the warmth of your love, we would feel the warmth of your presence, and that the person or the thing that we are waiting for would actually be you. So God, we love you. Your presence is welcome here, and may we feel your presence tonight. Amen.
We have a chant for the season called Wait for the Lord, written by Jacques Berthier from the Taizé community. So we will sing this simple chant. We'll repeat it together in the hopes that we can shut down our minds a little bit and welcome in the Spirit. So the words are, wait for the Lord whose day is near. Wait for the Lord, keep watch, take heart. I will start singing it with the band. You please join me as you're ready. Wait for the Lord, whose day is near. Wait for the Lord, keep watch, take heart. Wait
Have a seat if you'd like to. Religion is the spilling of poetry. So a few words from Pablo Neruda. I have never understood the struggle except as something to end all struggle. After all the run-ins between my poetry and the police, I still have absolute faith in human destiny, a clearer and clearer conviction that we are approaching a great common tenderness. I write knowing that the danger of the bomb hangs over all our heads. Well, that does not alter my hope. At this critical moment, in this flicker of anguish, we know that the true light will enter those eyes that are vigilant. We shall all understand one another. We shall all advance together, and this hope cannot be crushed. This is the season when our religion tries to give waiting a good name. W.H. Auden wrote that the most real thing about us is that we are waiting. Well, he might have been right, but patience is not exactly the shining star of our human nature, is it? The way we generally think about patience, it has a kind of submissive, almost obsequious quality. A quiescence that hardly seems up to the challenges of the times. It's not a disposition so much as a vague pastel tint of character, something we have inertly, or perhaps just as likely have not inertly. Patience, the way we mostly think about it, is a form of matter at rest, not a form of energy. living patience is much harder work than that, isn't it? The way the hardest work is to sing softly, isn't it? The way the hardest work is sometimes not holding on, but letting go. The way the hardest work is sometimes not doing, but praying. The hardest work of all is precisely the work of this season and this story. To live with the most energetic and committed expectation, with our every atom turned toward the fruition of the world about which we hear as a voice crying in the wilderness. Prepare. Prepare. When the poet Pablo Neruda received his Nobel Prize for Literature a couple of generations ago, his native Chile was in the midst of revolution and terror. In one account of his speech upon receiving the Nobel Prize, he stands before the Swedish Academy and says, "I come from a faraway province in a country separated from all other countries in the world by its sharply defined geography. I was the most obscure poet, and my poetry was regional, painful, pluvial. I was the most obscure poet, but I always believed in humankind. I never lost hope, and as a result, I have arrived here today with my poetry and my flag. And I want to say to all people of good faith, to the workers, to the poets, that the entire future was expressed in one poetic sentence. The sentence, at dawn, armed with burning patience, we shall enter the splendid cities. At dawn, armed with burning patience, we shall enter the splendid cities. Only with burning patience shall we conquer the splendid city that will give light, justice, and dignity to all people, and thus poetry will not have sung in vain." Only with burning patience. As though this seemingly inert disposition of ours were combustible after all, if only it does catch fire. And here, now, in this country, separated from the world by sharply defined geography, not only of its continental location, but of its privilege and its denial and its self-congratulatory self-image. Here in this country and in this season, it may take a poet to remind us that patience is combustible, and that only when patience burns for justice, burns for mercy, burns for understanding and humility, only then does it provide a light that's worthy to follow into the future. 'Tis the season. And I think of the flaming patience of John Lewis, marching his way across the bridge from how it was to how it will be, right through the middle of a stormy cloud of good trouble. And the torch-like patience of William Barber and Patrisse Cullors and Greta Thunberg, every atom of them turned to track the dawn of that new day at the threshold of a new dwelling place for humanity. And I think of Bill Coffin and his holy impatience for the final defeat of the true axis of evil: environmental degradation, pandemic poverty, ubiquitous weaponry. And I think of the smoldering patience of the women of Iran, insisting that their dignity be respected, not underneath articles of clothing mandated for them by pious men, but out in the open air of the streets in an open society. Or of the smoking, fiery patience of the Ukrainians and the Chinese pushing back against tyrants. And I think of each of you following the steps of the story of your lives today to this place, bearing the poetry of your authenticity, to name your fears and your hopes here in whispered prayers or as little flecks of light that burn with patience, lighting the way to a world that still lies out of sight over the horizon. There are different ways of living in expectation. Some waiting is inert, flameless, reactive. It huddles in its cell and waits for morning. And some waiting is volatile, incendiary, prophetic. It sings through the night, and come the morning, it has poems in its hands. That kind of waiting may not always be optimistic, God knows, but it is always hopeful. That kind of waiting will see us to the gate of the splendid city where no mother about to deliver a child need be a refugee from a tyrant or an empire. That splendid city where the arrogance of the proud and the powerful has been humbled by love of those whose beauty and nobility they finally got around to noticing. At the dawn of that day, when peace shall over all the world its ancient splendors fling, and the whole world give back the song which now the angels sing. Thus, the poetry of this season of expectation will not have sung in vain. Amen.
Where are you now when darkness seems to win? Where are you now when the world is crumbling? Oh, I hear you say, look up, child. Yes, look up, child. Hey, where are you now when all I feel is doubt? Where are you now when I can't figure it out? I hear you say, look up, child. Yes, look up, child. Hey, look up, child. Hey, look up, child. Hey, look up. You're not threatened by the war. You're not shaken by the storms. I know you're in control. Even in our suffering, even when it can't be seen, I know you're in control. Oh, I hear you say, look up, child. Ooh, look up, child. Hey, look up, child. Ooh, look up, child. Yes, look up, child. Look up, look up, look up, child. Look up, look up, look up, child. Look up, child. Yeah. look up, child. Hey, look up, child. Hey, look up.
We're about to enter into a time of meditation and lighting candles as prayer. I feel the need to respond to something. Reverend Rick, what you said, I think really stirred something in me, and I think I just wanted to say, like, an Advent waiting sometimes calls us to let go because we recognize that something better is on the horizon. And that is why patience burns, because there are some things that cannot be contained and should not be contained in this waiting. And so as we enter into this time of silent prayer, of lighting candles, like, I want y'all to really dig deep tonight and think about what it is that it's time to let go of some things. And it's time to let certain things burn because something good is on the horizon. So hold on to that as we enter into this candle lighting. So during this season of Advent, normally we do communion during this time, but in lieu of communion, which still breaks my heart that we're not doing communion, so we'll be extending our time into candle lighting, into silent meditation, and silent prayers. And this change, we're really doing this because we want to enter into Mary's waiting. It's not very often we allow ourselves to walk alongside Mary. So we are forgoing communion for this time because we want our bodies to physically feel what is it like to wait on Jesus, to wait on what is to come. And so in the moment I will be praying, I'll say a short prayer. I will leave the space open for some silence for y'all to pray silently. And when you hear the music fill the space, we feel the music fill your bodies, that is your signal to then, whenever you feel ready, to rise and go to one of our candle stations and light a candle as a prayer, both as a way to symbolize your burning patience, your Advent waiting, but also to bring in some more light into this world, because God knows we need more light in this world. So I invite you to bow your heads and join me in prayer. I lift my eyes up to the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from you, God, our Creator, Maker of all the earth. God, as we spend time in silence and in prayer and lighting candles and meditation, God, help us to look to the mountains. Help us to see, to feel, to touch, to taste, to smell the things that you have on the way. And as we sit in silence, God, I pray that you would stir up the prayers that are deep in the soil of our souls and bring them up to the surface so that the proximity between our prayers and your ears are closer than the skin on our flesh. So God, as we sit in silence and in prayer, would you speak to us, guide us during this time. May our prayers be heard. Thank you. So now we enter into a time of offering, and God has given unto us exceedingly and abundantly throughout our whole lives. And if you believe this to be true, can I get an amen? Amen. So in that spirit, I invite you to give out of the generosity of your hearts. Your presence here is already a gift. But may that your heart be generous. And if you decide to give tonight, may it be from the overflow of that heart. So tonight's offering will be given and received.
Come, O long-expected Jesus, with a jazz swing. We will sing it together. Could you please stand as you're able?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Come, O long-expected Jesus, born to set all people free. From our fears and sins release us, grant us your true liberty. Israel's strength and consolation, hope to all the earth impart. Dear desire of every nation, enter every longing heart. Born all people to deliver, born a child you will reign, born to rule on earth forever. Come, he knows to us again by your own eternal Spirit. Come to claim us as your own by your all-sufficient merit. Let us share your cross and crown.
Our service now begins. Perhaps it is true that the most real thing about us is that we are waiting. whatever we are each waiting for, may we all be waiting with burning patience for that true peace with justice, that true beauty with compassion, that is and will be over and over again born in our midst in the coming to us every day, every moment of Jesus the Christ. So may we indeed go in the sure and certain knowledge of the blessing and companionship of the God who makes us, loves us, knows us, stirs us. And may we all say, Amen.
Our service is over. Let our service begin. Fed by mystery, forgiven of sin. Now our faith made real. When brokenness we heal. Our service is over. Let our service begin.
That peace of God is stirring among us even now, and I invite you to recognize it stirring in one another as you greet one another in the spirit of the season as we part company from this glad gathering, but not before you help yourself to some of the food and refreshment that is waiting for you at the back of the sanctuary. Let us indeed go in peace to love and to serve. Thanks be to God. Amen.